Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in the past. We're making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. And we're here with a money mindset expert. That's Pericles Rellas. Did I get it correct?
You did, Noreen.
Good,
Thank you so
good,
much.
good. Thanks for joining me. And what we're going to be talking about is resetting your financial thermostat. Now, for somebody who has no idea even what a thermostat is, so they can make that connection, just tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah, most people have related to or used a thermostat either in our car or at home on an oven. And its sole purpose is to set it at a certain temperature and it maintains that temperature. So if the room is set at 68 degrees and you open the window and it's hot outside, it turns on the AC and brings the room back down to that temperature. And the opposite is true as well. Well, we each have a financial thermostat, just like a home thermostat. And it's set at a very certain amount when it comes to how much money we can earn and how much money we can keep. It's also set to the types of emotions that we experience around money. So I've discovered a way to reset our financial thermostats so we can earn more, we can keep more, and we can actually have a better relationship with money and ultimately with ourselves and the people around us.
Okay. So let's dive right in. How do we reset that?
This is a great question. The first thing we have to do is we have to really notice, where is our financial thermostat or our money mindset set right now? And that's the easy part. Just take a look at how things are. Are you somebody who constantly works harder but can't break through a financial ceiling? Or are you somebody who can earn lots and lots of money, but you always find that you're still behind? Or you earn lots of money and you don't know where it goes. It just disappears. You may be somebody who can earn a lot of money and keep a lot of money, but you still have stress or worry or anxiety around money. Look to see what your experience is around money, and that will give you what your current thermostat setting is. Then start to look at two places. One, where is your money coming from? Most people don't really stop to take a look at, well, where does my money really come from? Well, it comes from my work, whether I work for someone else's company or I have my own business and I have clients. Where does your money come from? And really examine it and start to show an appreciation and a joy and happiness for where that money comes from. Then start to look at, where is your money going? 99% of people have no idea where all their money goes. It just goes where it goes kind of by default. Stop to look at where your money goes and then start to make choices about where you want your money to go. You know, I like to say from default to design. Most people, they spend money and it's just going where it's going. Kind of that's the way it's always been by default. Stop and really start to bring some critical thinking. Do I want my money to go here? And if yes, continue to do that. If no, make different choices.
What about, I'm going to use myself as an example. I know where my money is coming from. I know where it's going. A lot of time it's going to bills. No. And outside of the quote unquote regular bills. So whether it is that we're talking like with a cable, whether it's light, those things that you must have. But
Yes.
yet sometimes it's just not adding up. It's just not. So what then?
Right. This is when we really start to look at our mindset around money.
Okay.
I have this great distinction around money. It's called money flows in a circle, with us intersecting that circle. So it flows to us, through us, and away from us, and then back around to us, through us, and away from us. And there's a reservoir on the side that we get to keep. Now, because of this circular flow of money, a block anywhere in that flow is a block everywhere in the flow. So if we have negative thoughts about where our money's coming from, that blocks the flow of money coming to us.
Okay.
And ultimately on that reservoir on the side that we get to keep. If we have negative mindsets around money flowing away from us, the same is true. So let me give you a couple of examples. If we look at where our money comes from and we start to notice, wow, I really hate my boss. I hate my job. I hate the clients. I hate the people I have to work with. Those are all blocks in the flow of money coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it will impact how much money we can earn. Also, our experience around the money that we earn. If we start to clear those blocks out, suddenly money can flow more freely to us and we have a different experience around it. Same thing's true for money flowing away from us. If we're someone who resents paying the bills, doesn't like paying the bills, holds on to money as long as possible, or pays things late intentionally because you just don't want to let go of money, those are blocks in the flow going away from us. And ultimately, any one of those blocks blocks the flow of money coming to us and to that reservoir on the side that we get to keep. So start to look at the cable bill. Do I hate having to pay that cable bill every month? Do I resent paying the cable bill? If you do, start to look at, wow, I pay this cable bill because I get to watch the shows that I love. I get to watch programs that enlighten me, that nourish my mind, my body, my spirit, and start to relate to it that way. Same thing for money that's coming to you. If you resent your boss, you have two choices, three choices. You can leave it the way it is,
Right.
or you can choose to create a different relationship with your boss, or go find work somewhere else. Find something that you truly love doing. But I almost guarantee for people who resent their boss, if they look, there's probably a pattern there of, well, I resented the past boss, so I got a new job, and that boss turned out to be really bad too. If you notice patterns like that, notice, wow, I'm the common denominator. I can start to change how I relate to my job and the people around me.
Why? Okay, so you said how you get it and where is it going? What's the other step or aspect to this?
Where our money comes from and where it goes. Now, the third aspect, and this is kind of the most important one, is how do we actually relate to money? What are our thoughts, feelings, and opinions about money? And this is where we want to start to do a real deep dive into what money is and what's our experience around it. So a great example is when I was a little kid growing up, we were watching some show on the rich and famous and how their lives were horrible. And I remember at the end of the show, my mom saying, with no agenda, she just was saying this because this was what she thought after the show. She said, I never want to have that kind of money. You'll lose your whole family. And in that moment, as a 6-year-old kid, I decided, wow, I can never have that kind of money because I don't want to lose my family. Now, it wasn't like I was sitting there consciously thinking about it. It was just this subconscious decision that I made, setting my financial thermostat to a certain amount of money, because if I go above that, I'm going to lose my family. Not until I started creating this education and doing the work for myself did I see that conversation, and I was able to let go of that conversation and create new conversations around what I want in terms of wealth, what I want in terms of prosperity, what I want in terms of my relationship to money. So start to look at, what are your thoughts, feelings, and emotions around money? What opinions do you have about money? Do you resent the wealthy? Because if you resent the wealthy, you ultimately can never get beyond where you are, because the universe doesn't put gradients on it. If I give you 1 penny more than what you have, you are technically wealthier than you were before I gave you that penny. So if you resent the wealthy, you won't be able to become wealthy, because we can't become that which we resent. So give up those conversations. Notice wherever they are, because they're insidious. They'll be everywhere. Start to notice them, like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I had that opinion about money, or I didn't notice I had that negative relationship to money, and start to let go of those and create new conversations around money. Wow, I just found a penny on the ground. I am so grateful. I am so happy. I am on my way to becoming wealthy in my own right. My name is Pericles Rellas, and I am a money mindset expert. Today, we're talking about how our mindset can impact our ability to earn and keep money. And right now, we're going to take a break to hear from some of our partners.
Does your business lack branding? Having difficulty realizing your vision? Look no further. Splinth Brand Design Consultancy specializes in developing personal and business brands. Services include strategic management, website creation, social media branding, and more. Visit them online at www.wearesplint.com. Splinth, the brand you need to succeed.
Making it last is all I care to do. You loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life.
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors: Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics, or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
All right, welcome back. We're going to get back into this conversation.
You literally just answered what I was going to ask, which is basically why then do we need to literally reset, our financial thermostat? But just for reinforcement, why do we really need to do that?
Well, from my perspective, it's not something we need to do. It's something some people can choose to do. So if you choose that you're not happy with the way things are right now, you're not happy with the way you are in your relationship to money, you're not happy or content with the amount of money that you're earning, or you're not finding fulfillment and joy in the money that you are earning. You find that you're just constantly working, trying to get somewhere, but you're not finding that fulfillment. Then you may want to look at what is your financial thermostat setting, and then resetting it so that you can create the kind of abundance, the kind of prosperity that you truly want in the area of money.
How do you think this then impacts on our relationships, whether negatively or positively?
Well, we all have a relationship with money as it relates to our relationships. So there are three mindsets or three financial thermostats when it comes to a dynamic of a couple who are together. So we've got the first person in the relationship's financial thermostat setting. Then we've got the second person's financial thermostat setting. And then we've got them as a couple. They have a unit financial thermostat setting. And oftentimes these go completely undistinguished. We don't talk about it. We don't want to have conversations. And so they work in the background and they create tension. They create frustration. I mean, how many people who are listening have a partner who spends money differently than they do, and that causes tension or friction? We don't want to have those conversations. So what I found is when people really start to look at this independently and then together as a couple, they start to create a uniformed or a united financial thermostat setting. And that brings more joy into their relationship, more passion, more love, more just peace and progress in their relationship. And that's what I'm really committed to for people.
What then about other types of relationships?
Well, I find this is across the board. One of the things that I noticed is in your relationship to money, if you actually related to money the way you would relate to a significant other, your entire life would shift in an instant. Most people, they demand that money be there. They insist that they have enough money. When they don't, they're frustrated and angry. They want it to be there when they want it, but if it's not, they're frustrated. They don't appreciate it. They have these expectations it's going to provide something that it generally cannot provide. Imagine if you related to your significant other the same way. Well, you need to be here when I want you. You need to provide me with what I need. You need to give me the things that you can't provide, even though I know you can't provide it, but I expect you to do that. We wouldn't have a relationship for very long, right? But once we start to see, wow, I could relate to money in a loving way, in a way that I really appreciate money, where when it does show up, I have gratitude for it. Suddenly, money's going to want to hang out with you more often, just like another person. You treat someone like that, they're going to want to be around you. Same thing's true for money. It will want to show up in your life. And when we get that dynamic created in our relationship to money, suddenly we start to relate to everything that way. Suddenly we start to relate to other people, our friends, our families that way. Everything in our world changes.
As we're wrapping up, there are a lot of people who, over time, money has always been seen as, if you try to acquire too much, it's going to impact on you negatively. It has more negative connotation than it actually has good.
Yes.
What would be your reaction or your advice for somebody who still sees money as, yes, it is something that I have to utilize, but I just want to just get it out because I don't want to be contaminated, so to speak,
Right.
by it.
Yes. That's one of those blocks in the flow that I was
Mhm.
talking about. If we
Okay.
see money as dirty, or we see money as
Mhm.
evil, or we see money as corrupting, then that's a block in the flow, and it will really impact how we relate to money and how much money will flow to us. Money is just money. It's nothing other than a piece of paper or some coins. It doesn't have anything inherent to it. It's what we bring to it that has it become what we don't want it to become, or become what we do want it to become. So if you notice that those are the conversations you have around money, start to let go of those conversations and start to think about, what are some of the things you could do that are good with money? If you were suddenly gifted with a tremendous amount of money, what could you do with that money to make the world a better place? What could you do with that money to impact other people's lives in a positive way, rather than thinking about it as something evil or disgusting that I need to get out of my life right away? You could actually have a really positive impact. So again, it's all about our mindset and our financial thermostat setting. So start to look at it from that positive perspective.
Okay. What's the one idea you'd want to leave with my listeners and my viewers from all that you said just now?
You have a very powerful tool that can impact every area of your life, and that's your personal mindset. Our mindset, or our context, creates and determines everything in our lives, whether it's with money, whether it's with our relationships, whether it's with our significant others, friends, families, jobs, etc. Look to see, how are you approaching things? What is your mindset? I like to focus on money mindset because that's where people get the most power, freedom, and true joy in their lives. Look to see, what is my mindset around money, and what can I do to shift it so that I can have a more empowering relationship with my money, and then ultimately with myself and the people I care about.
Excellent note to end on. Thanks for sharing so much with us.
Noreen, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Have a great afternoon.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in